Hi, Vivian. This is Liz. How are you today? I hope everything is going well for you and you're enjoying our warmer weather finally. I have a new story for you today called When Will We Get There by Anne Harth. What do you see happening in this picture? It's kind of hard to tell, but I think these kids are in the back seat of their car and they have their toys and books and papers and crayons all around them. Okay, let's get started. Dylan climbed into the back seat. He helped his little sister with her seatbelt. The car was filled with dolls, stuffed animals, books, and crayons. Did you bring everything in your room, Laura? He said. Laura shook her head. No, my bed's still there. Dylan laughed. Mom started the car and backed out of the driveway. Dylan opened his book. Chapter 1, he read. When will we get there? Laura tugged on Dylan's sleeve. He looked up. Mom, how long will it take to get to Nana's? Mom glanced at her watch. We'll be there in 2 hours. Laura frowned. That's forever. She picked up a doll and combed its hair. Dylan looked down at his book. Chapter 1, he read. Peter Potter was stuck. How much longer now? Laura said. Dylan looked up. Almost 2 hours. Laura frowned. She pulled out a piece of paper. She opened a box of crayons and started to draw. Vivian, what do you like to do in the car when you have a long car ride? I like to read or play some car games, like we play I Spy and that kind of thing with our kids. Okay, Dylan looked out the window. They were on the highway. Trucks and cars whizzed past. The trees on the side of the road were a blur. He watched a man on a red motorcycle pull up beside them. A tiny dog sat in front of the rider. Dylan waved. The motorcycle sped up and disappeared. Dylan looked down at his book. Chapter 1, he read. Peter Potter was stuck. His leg was trapped. When will we get there? Laura said. Dylan sighed. Soon. He looked up. You could play with your dolls, he said. Laura shook her head. They're watching a movie. She pointed at a blank piece of paper. It was taped to the back of the seat. The 3 dolls and a stuffed elephant sat in front of it. You could draw a picture. Dylan tapped the box of crayons. It's too bumpy. You could read a book. Laura frowned. She opened her alphabet book. Dylan looked down at his own book. Chapter 1, he read. Peter Potter was stuck. His leg was trapped under a giant rock. Dylan's not getting very far in his book, is he? He keeps getting interrupted. When will we get there? Laura said. Laura, I'm trying to read, Dylan said. Laura smiled. She poked Dylan's leg. Will you read to me? Dylan sighed. Will you be quiet? Laura nodded. Dylan slid closer to his sister. He buckled his seatbelt and opened his book. Chapter 1, Dylan said. Peter Potter was stuck. Laura grew quiet. Dylan read a little more. His leg was trapped under a giant rock. Laura rested her head on Dylan's arm. Dylan kept reading. He pulled and pulled, but it wouldn't move. Laura was silent as Dylan read. He peeked down at his sister. What do you think's happening here? She was sound asleep. Dylan kept reading. When Dylan was on the 5th chapter, the car slowed. Mom turned onto a small street. She pulled into a driveway and stopped. Dylan looked up. Nana waved and hurried toward the car. Laura lifted her head. She rubbed her eyes. When will we get there? She said. Dylan laughed. We're there. Oh, that was good. So where does that story take place? Where were they? They were in the car, right? On their way to Nana's. And why can't Laura play with her dolls? Do you remember what the dolls were doing and the elephant? They were watching a pretend movie on her pretend screen that was really a piece of paper. And what story are they reading? So Dylan was reading a story, Peter Potter. It's about a rabbit. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed this story, and I hope you're doing well, Vivian. Take care. Bye-bye.